anomalous item.
Is that Thor's hammer? Bro. They're taking Milmer. They're playing too much, bro. They're messing with real gods now. Y'all better chill. You guys better stick to your own SCP universe. Y'all really feeling yourself.
Later, in the void.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And in today's episode, guys, we have another group that we're going to be diving deep into, and this one looks pretty deadly. It is SCP Serpent's Hand Explained. So out of all the groups that I just saw on surface level, I would think this one's the most dangerous by this is the title and the vibe that I got from the group itself, from all the previous SCP reactions I've done in the past. So I'm excited to see how deadly this group is, or if it's not deadly, who knows. We're going to find out today though. So with that all out the way, if you guys are excited for this reaction, please remember to smash that like button. Also remember to smash the sub button if you're not already part of the family. I make SCP reactions daily for you guys, so if you enjoy SCP content and you enjoy my reaction style, you made it. You finally came home. Smash that button and join the family. And also remember to turn on post notifications so you do not miss an upload. And like always, shout out to SCP Explained Story and Animation for bringing us this animation for me to react to today. So with that all out the way, let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP Serpent's Hand Explained. Let's get it.
Nowhere is more secure than an SCP Foundation facility. They make Fort Knox look like a revolving door with a spare key under the mat. That's why when someone or something can infiltrate without even being noticed, it's considered a major threat. And doing exactly that is what put a mysterious group of insurgents known as the Serpent's Hand on the map. But this group of interest isn't just famous for its ability to sneak into Foundation's strongholds.
Yeah, what's their purpose?
Like a lot of the SCP Foundation's biggest threats, from the Scarlet King to the Chaos Insurgency, the roots of the Serpent's Hand are closer than they think. The Foundation's first official brush with the Serpent's Hand came shortly after they contained SCP-268, an Irish tweed worn newsboy cap believed to have been created sometime in the 1800s. The only identifying mark on the cap is a label with the following phrase written in Middle Irish: "The garden is the serpent's place," initially believed to be a reference to the serpent in the biblical Garden of Eden.
Is that where they got the name, the Serpent's Hand, from that hat? Yo, what the heck? Or at least from the serpent from the Garden of Eden? That'll be interesting.
This Euclid-class SCP is a double-edged sword.
Euclid?
It gives the user a useful supernatural ability at a terrifying supernatural cost.
Wait, what?
Anyone wearing the cap appears so utterly unremarkable that nobody is able to take notice of them. And when they leave a person's general area of awareness, they're quickly forgotten.
Yo! So they turn invisible, and then the drawback is you're completely erased from people's minds? What the heck?
The user isn't invisible, but they might as well be. If you're a person whose line of work involves sneaking and subterfuge, or if you're just a major introvert, this sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah, for real.
However, like a lot of anomalies, this dream can quickly become a nightmare. If someone wears the cap repeatedly, or for too long at one time, they risk the effects of the cap becoming permanent, even when it's removed.
What does he mean like that? You can't take it off?
A forgotten person, impossible to notice and remember.
Oh, wait. Okay, they're basically saying if you do take it off, you still have the effects of the hat. Yeah, I'm not putting that on.
Even to those closest to you. Why anyone would want such a fate is a mystery. So it came as a surprise to the Foundation when the hat suddenly disappeared from secure containment, replaced by a note reading, "Thanks, I needed my hat back, LS."
Serpent's
Who was
Hand.
this mysterious LS? And was the anomaly truly theirs prior to containment? Scientists, security officials, and administrators hoped this would be an isolated incident, but LS was far from done.
What if LS was like the actual leader of the Serpent's Hand? And that was his hat. It was always his hat. But he's so mysterious, that's why no one knows who the leader is or something like that, That would be kind of cool.
LS was far from done. And even worse for the Foundation, LS was now armed with a perfect anomalous tool to make their next containment breach even smoother. The next incident was known as Security Breach Incident X-23 and was committed against the extremely valuable Site-19. The largest Foundation site there is.
Oh, what are they holding there?
Most of all for the Foundation security team working there Security footage indicated that LS simply strolled into the base without being noticed.
Wait, so cameras could capture the dude? Oh, I guess only humans won't be able to realize, like, you know, the essence of the person that's wearing the hat. But that's weird that cameras can too. I don't know. Always thought that if a camera's showing it, maybe you can see it, but when a human looks at the camera, then you can't see him. But I guess that's not the case.
SCP-268 was working wonders. This time LS had a new target, SCP-914, an anomalous machine also known as the Clockworks. This machine, originally tested by the famously emotionalist Dr. Charles Gears, has the ability to refine any object placed into its chambers
cute little
into
monkey.
a greater version of their original selves, often with strange and anomalous results.
Wait, what?
You can probably their original object placed into
Wait, I remember there was a monkey agent from the SCP Foundation. I forgot what reaction it was. But is this the origins of the monkey agent? Yo, what the heck? Let me reel this back a little bit.
Gears has the ability to refine any object placed into its chambers into a greater version of their original selves, often with strange and anomalous results.
So basically evolved. You could basically evolve when you go into this chamber of the Clockworks. Basically like speeding up time, like the evolution trait or DNA from you know yourself. So that's interesting. I wonder what will happen if you put a human in there. Would they become a god? Or like an enlightened being, some way, somehow? Or would they turn into SCP? Because I always think about sometimes maybe certain SCPs are like X-Men. Like they're evolution from, you know, regular humans. They evolved, but people see them as a threat. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like Iris, the one with the camera that has abilities to go through the photos. That's like an example I'm trying to, like, you know, talk about. Like where they are human, but they just have certain traits where it's more so like an X-Men or they just evolved. I don't know. Always an interesting concept, at least to me.
You can probably see why someone wanting to utilize anomalies for their own gain would take such a keen interest in this one. LS breezed past the guards, inexplicably destroyed the file for SCP-407, a taped song that causes unchecked cellular growth, and made their way towards 914.
What the heck?
Unfortunately, a researcher who was working on 914 was murdered by LS during the breach.
Damn.
We have no idea what they did with 914. Perhaps they refined 268 to act as an even more effective stealth tool, without its unpleasant side effects.
Okay, I'm getting kind of confused. Like, is LS the same dude that we're seeing in the Serpent's cloak? Or are these just like different members, like doing all these missions? Because if it is LS, the dude that we are seeing, that's pretty crazy. And maybe we're seeing like the beginning of when he created the Serpent's hand. But I don't know.
Maybe they made the daring move of refining themselves. We'll never know.
Yo.
All we do know is that this time, LS left a letter. It was long, rambling, and philosophical, with no incriminating information that could be used to identify the mysterious figure. They signed off the letter with, "I leave you with one final truth. The garden is the Serpent's place. The divinities of fear and order who come to walk in the cool evening air are only visitors. Do not fail to see the evil hiding in the light, nor the aromatic beauty of the palest flower of darkness. Signed sincerely."
What the heck is
LS.
this dude doing?
These repeated references to the Serpent clue the Foundation in on the affiliation of this new troublemaker. A growing group of interest.
Just told on
aimed
yourself.
at the Serpent's hand.
It was probably bored.
But really, who are the Serpent's hand? What do they want?
Yeah, for
What
real.
is their connection to other active groups of interest, like the Chaos Insurgency and the Global Code Coalition? And was this mysterious LS figure the leader of the group, or just another agent?
LS, what does that stand for? I've been trying to think about that since the beginning. Like, I just can't put a finger on it. Huh. Guess we'll just keep on seeing and find out.
These were all the questions on the minds of the Foundation's best and brightest tactical thinkers, but the answers didn't come easy.
Makes sense.
During the Serpent's Hand's investigations, the Foundation found an unlikely ally in what is usually one of their biggest opponents. The Global
Coalition.
The GOC had dealt with the Serpent's Hand before, and understood their central philosophy. Whereas the Foundation and the GOC were both committed to acting in secret and maintaining...
They just have different values.
The Serpent's Hand wanted the exact opposite.
Oh.
They wanted to destroy the secrecy around the anomalous and supernatural. and reveal the existence of it all to the general public.
Wow.
While the Foundation and the GOC
That's
think this
interesting.
is crazy, the Serpent's Hand aren't just insane architects who want to unleash chaos across the world. In fact, they actually have some pretty interesting points. The Serpent's Hand acknowledges that the supernatural can be dangerous, but much like natural disasters and crime, will the public benefit from not knowing about them? Members of the Serpent's Hand also fight for the rights of non-violent anomalous entities, particularly sentient and sapient beings. They find the Foundation's habit of containing them and the GOC's habit of killing them barbaric, and will openly use and collaborate with anomalies to further their goals.
Okay, this one is more interesting than the other groups by itself, because everything's not so apparent or obvious to us. With the SCP, we know that they're studying it, they're trying to save mankind. The Global Coalition, they're literally, they think it's best to just wipe out the SCPs completely to save, mankind, which is the same, concept. But with this, they want mankind to know about the SCPs, and it doesn't seem like they're generalizing any sort of group. It's like whatever SCP that they find, they want the world to know about it, even if it's like a god level or a dangerous one. So I wonder, what's the end goal though with this plan? Because it seems like this group is doing a lot behind the scenes. But we shall see.
Like how LS is a keen operator of 268 for their infiltration missions. At least 177 individuals belonging to the Serpent's Hand have been identified, many of which who have actively performed raids on Foundation sites across the globe.
Oh my
God. It was a mystery to the Foundation how such a small number of members could run rings around them, and seemingly be everywhere at once, until a revelation was delivered by the Global Occult Coalition.
Okay.
The Serpent's Hand have an informal headquarters in an anomalous location known as the Wanderer's Library, an ancient and seemingly limitless archive containing every book from every dimension in the multiverse.
What the heck?
This location exists
okay, they're going to tell us.
It's outside of space and time, and can be accessed through a global network of interdimensional portals known as the Ways.
What?
Like a supernatural guerrilla soldier, members of the Serpent's Hand would exit from one of the Ways, raid a Foundation or GOC's site, and then escape back into another one of the Ways.
Okay, what is that? A SCP? Hold up, I need to rewind this. I hope I missed something, because they can't just pull this out of their ass, right? Yo.
Old Coalition. The Serpent's Hand have an informal headquarters in an anomalous location known as the Wanderer's Library.
The Wanderer's Library.
Seemingly limitless archive containing every book from every dimension in the multiverse.
How did you get there, though? Every book in the multiverse? What? And this is not on Earth. Aren't you guys regular humans? Now I'm thinking, maybe some way, somehow, they evolved, which is, they use that SCP clockwork, and they went in it, and some way, somehow, they got access to, this library and other, angelic stuff. Who knows? But this is pretty crazy.
This location exists outside of space and time, and can be accessed through a global network of interdimensional portals known as the Ways.
The Ways.
Like a supernatural guerrilla soldier, members of the Serpent's Hand would exit from one of the Ways, raid a Foundation or GOC's site, and then escape back into another one of the Ways.
Okay, so it also seems like they have control over these Ways. Or they at least know the pathways of each one in the multiverse, I guess. But I don't believe that's the case. I believe they're controlling it somehow so they could pop in and pop out. Which is what? Yo, break that down, please.
Using the Wanderer's Library as a safe zone. The library was a convenient way to access and steal from sites worldwide with impunity, increasing their stock of anomalous items.
Is that Thor's hammer? Bro. They're taking Milner. They're playing too much, bro. They're messing with real gods now. Y'all better chill. You guys better stick to your own SCP universe. Y'all really feeling yourself.
And beings each time. While performing raids and stealing anomalies feel like textbook chaos insurgency behavior,
no, that's more than that.
Have an extremely frosty relationship with the insurgency too, often seeing them as greedy, erratic, and short-sighted.
Yo.
The Serpent's Hand has a series of catchy nicknames for its various foes. It refers to the Foundation as the Jailers, the GOC as the Book Burners, and the Chaos Insurgency as the Madmen. The Foundation even formed a new
that's interesting. The Jailers.
The Bookworms. explicitly for Serpent's Hand-related missions.
Wow.
While the Foundation has engaged in a number of raids and skirmishes on the Serpent's Hand since their feud began,
They're just
they've
dipping.
never been able to gather any information about who gives the orders.
For real.
Only the Global Occult Coalition have been able to successfully perform a raid on the Wanderer's library,
Bruh.
an act that was extremely difficult and costly. It also earned the GOC
How do they
a
do
spot
that?
as the Serpent's Hand's public enemy #1.
Damn.
The Foundation isn't eager to take from them. With the unlimited knowledge present in the
Hey, you're taking that reward. I don't want that. I don't want that. Yo, keep it pushing, B.
library and the mysterious nature of their command structure, this group manages to be a formidable enemy for the Foundation despite its small size.
Damn.
What the Foundation doesn't know is that there actually is no command structure for the Serpent's Hand. They're a decentralized group of splinter cells and lone wolves acting out a philosophy rather than a specific mission.
Then who's LS? It made it seem like LS was the person that was in charge of everything. Oh. Maybe it's something like the Scarlet King, where people like listen and like worship the Scarlet King, but they don't know who the Scarlet King is. They never seen him come into this reality. Maybe it's like LS, because he's been wearing that hat for so long. He's been erased from existence. People don't really know who he is, but we know because we're watchers. So the people that are listening and like the lone wolves within the Serpent's Hand, they probably going off the beliefs that LS left behind before he departed, his group. Yo, but he's always still there though, because they just don't know. What the heck? That's crazy.
This way of working is so alien to the highly regimented structures of the Foundation and the GOC, it's no surprise that they're stumped by it. This still leaves us with one more question central to the whole mystery. If not the leader of this organization, who exactly is LS?
Yo.
To answer this, we must return once more to Dr. Charles Ogden Gears, the cold and robotic Foundation scientist in charge of SCP-914 research.
Yeah.
If all the ways Dr. Gears has been described so far has made you think he wouldn't be a particularly warm and loving father, you'd be absolutely right.
That boy got a big old head though, for real, for real. Yo, wear a baseball cap or something.
Just ask his estranged daughter, Allison Chow. Allison never forgave Gears for abandoning her and her mother, and she now does everything she can to get revenge on him and his precious Foundation.
What?
But here's the problem. The Gears of this dimension is not the only one who has a child with an axe to grind. Gears has been a deadbeat dad in a number of dimensions.
Damn.
So much so that these disgruntled daughters converge in the Wanderer's library to plot their revenge across dimensions together. This collective of Allison Chows, sometimes believed to just be one Allison, is known to the Foundation as the Black Queen. However, they themselves more commonly refer to their daughter support
They're all women?
turned terrorist organization as the Little Sister.
And they're all the same daughters though, from different realities. Like, what? I would have never guessed. That's crazy.
Or, if you'd prefer, the abbreviation LS. While the Serpent's
Little
Hand
Sisters-
has no leader, the Little Sisters are some of its most devoted and dangerous warriors.
Yo.
They're intelligent, coordinated, and, due to their obsession with Dr. Gears, personally invested in hitting the Foundation where it hurts.
Just because this guy was a deadbeat dad. Just because he left his little daughter alone. Bro. You think, see, like, it always happens from the smallest little things. The smallest inconvenience that you think is not a big deal. It's always different from another perspective. And wow, that's just crazy. LS, Little Sisters. And they're all the same girls from a different dimension, bro. Or a different reality. However you want to phrase it. But that's interesting. So I guess they're all using the hats? Or if one daughter uses a hat, would it erase their existence from the other realities too? Or is it just that one daughter from that reality? And the other ones are fine? Bro, I'm thinking now.
After all, that's what the Serpent's Hand is all about. Striking out against the oppressors who keep a stranglehold on the truth, throwing off the chains imposed by the Foundation, and the violence visited upon anomalies by the Global Occult Coalition. If the Serpent's Hand gets their way, one day there may be a glorious world where humans and anomalies knowingly coexist.
But it's interesting for her to like get back at the SCP. their method is just to release all, you know, the SCPs and show the world about it. It seems like, I thought they will have a bigger like plot and a bigger plan, but it just seems like they're just getting back at Gears, literally, because he loves, you know, his job. He's going to, you know, release all the SCPs and show the world. Yeah. I thought like maybe they have a bigger plan to show them these SCPs to humans, but it doesn't seem like that's the case.
It is a nice thing to imagine, utopian even. But the Foundation's greatest concern about the Serpent's Hand isn't that they're evil, it is that they're naive.
Yeah.
While the Serpent's Hand don't wish to usher in the apocalypse, it doesn't mean they won't by complete accident.
That's what I'm saying.
Their kindness and understanding towards anomalies may one day make them a perfect band of useful idiots for an entity with far darker intentions.
Exactly.
And one day, they may just release something that would really be better locked away.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to get back at him, why wouldn't you just kill all the Gears in all the different realities? Why would you release all the SCPs? And that's what I was talking about in the beginning of this video. Like, it didn't seem like they're like, you know, only releasing or like showing the world the, you know, the safe ones, or maybe close to dangerous ones. But if you're going to release like Death and like the Deer, all these crazy ones, yo, that have the potential to wipe out humanity, bro, that's not smart. Like, honestly, I don't care if we could jump to different realities. That's not smart. And they are pretty naive after hearing that. But anyway, this was a really, really good breakdown and good explanation video of the Serpent's Hand. Honestly, like, they wrapped everything together. I can't ask for a better animation to react to. Yo, this is perfect. If you guys enjoyed this reaction, please remember to smash that like button. It'll mean the world. And also smash the sub button as well too. Join the family if you're not already part of it. If you made it this far to the end and you're not subbed already, I don't know why you even made it here. But yo, get on the train, guys. Hop in and have a blast with us for next reaction. So yo, and like always, try and post notifications so you don't miss an upload. And unfortunately, that concludes today's episode. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one. With